Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Let's Talk Diabetes with Anthony. Are you type 2 diabetic? Do you ever wonder why testing is very important for you? Do you ever wonder how much I should test in a day? Do you ever wonder what your numbers should be? Well, in this video, I'll be answering all these questions for you. Plus, near the end of the video, I will explain why testing was very important to me when I was told that I had type 2 diabetes. But before we begin, as always, my channel is not sponsored by any company. My main concern is its content, where I post videos once a week on YouTube trying to inform people about diabetes and how serious this disease is, because it affects our overall health. How do I know this? Well, I myself am type 2 diabetic, just like you. So let's begin. Do you ever wonder why you should be testing yourself all the time? You know, they just told you you were type 2 diabetic and test, test, test. Well, they were right, because when you test, you know exactly how things are affecting your blood sugar numbers. What do I mean by that? Well, when you test, you know exactly how the food that you just ate makes your number work, go up or go down. If you don't test, you don't know, right? Nobody's psychic, correct? For example, testing lets you do many things. It lets you know what your numbers are in the morning, your fasting numbers if you test in the morning. It lets you know what your numbers are before you eat and after you eat, so you know exactly how that food affected you. And when you know this, you could either eliminate it, swap it for something kind of healthy, and work it out. Also, if you test your blood sugar numbers, you will know exactly how it is before you start any physical activity. Testing is very important. So now, you're probably wondering, well, what should my numbers be? Well, I'll be talking about those in just a minute. I'll be going over these numbers with you, and you can follow along with the graph that I have on the screen for you. Now, the numbers will be a little bit different than the ones that are on the graph, because I'm going to be seeing the numbers in mmol, and that graph was the best one I could find for you. So let's begin. First of all, if you're testing your numbers first thing in the morning, your numbers should be 6.4 to 7.8 as a type 2 diabetic. If you're testing your numbers 1 hour before you eat or right before you eat, your numbers should be between 7.8 and 11. If you're testing an hour later, 2 hours later, it should be 11%. Now, my friends, don't listen to 2 hours later, because find out what your spike is. Your spike is what's happening with the food that you just ate to the number. Try to find out what it is. Usually it's about 45 minutes to an hour after. At least that's what mine was. And this will tell you exactly how that food affected you. For example, you're probably going to think, oh boy, I had that donut, but you know what? I was good. I didn't have a creamy donut. You test your number. Oh look, it's great. I can still have the donut. No, my friends, because after 2 hours, your numbers will slowly go down. And then you'll just be tricked and you won't be told the right number. So try to do it at about 45 minutes. So after you've gotten your numbers, the best thing to do is to write them down. Where should I write them down? On a log, or basically on a piece of paper horizontally. Now, I'll go over what this log looks like while you follow along with the graph that's on your screen. So once, like I just said, you took your numbers, you write them down. Across the page, start off with the date, the time you wrote them down, and what your number is. Usually they'll have a comment box on the side of the page, and you write down your certain comments. For example, you might have ate something that spiked your blood sugar. You write it down. You might have had a rough day or a couple of days where your anxiety was up. Write that down too. Make a note. Also, another very important thing is medications. Certain medications cause blood sugar to go up. Write those down beside in the comment. And any other things that you probably had, like dental work, if they used certain kind of meds, find out what they used and write them down. This is important because when you go to your doctor, they can't remember all this. So if it's right there, right in front of them, it's quicker for you, it's quicker for them. They'll see the results going across your page and they can figure out how your blood sugar is doing. But now they have all these special new monitors where they actually show graphs, and they'll know what that means, and you can show those too. But a piece of paper is just as good, my friends. Now, why was testing important for me when I was first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes? Well, because we didn't have computers and CGMs and all this technology that we have now. What do we have? A library card in the library. So what happened to me? I got my monitor. Thankfully, I had a good pharmacist, and they taught me how to use it. And they actually were quite nice and gave me some advice, saying that diet plays a big important part. Now, this was a few years back, and they were already telling you this. Now, the only thing that they didn't say were which foods affected your numbers. I mean, they did say, your sugars and your certain fruits, etc., but not what I found out. That's right. So I got the monitor, set it up, got my library card. Yes, a library card, not my phone. No, no, no. We didn't have a cell phone back then. Got my library card, walked to the library. That's right, I walked to the library. Ooh, these days kids get driven everywhere. Problem for becoming type 2 diabetic, right? Anyhow, actually, probably most people don't even go to the library anymore. They could sit on their butt and order everything through their computers. Anyhow, I went there, got all the books up for about diabetes. There weren't that many back then, two or three that were very popular. Did my homework. Figured out what actually did cause what foods actually did cause my blood sugars to go up. Oh yeah, big time. And they weren't just the junk food and the desserts. No, my friends, I found out the following: that everything that we were told to eat and have lots of, and it's very healthy for us, spiked at triple. For example, I found out that pasta, bread, rice, potatoes of all kinds, even the so-called healthy ones, right, that they push on us, they spiked it. And I also found out that baked goods, well, we already kind of knew that, right? And I found out that snack foods spiked. Most of your drinks, including your alcohol drinks except for water, and most of your fruits, most of your vegetables, and your dairy. Now, some safe things that I found out were your vegetables, and I found that starchy vegetables were okay, but they did spike the numbers up. In terms of dairy, milk was the worst for diabetics. Now, don't forget, this is for diabetics. Don't go haywire on me. I found that cheese, hard cheese, is better because it slowly spikes your number. And the best is your protein and vegetables. How did I do this? Well, testing. You don't know if you test. It might be expensive at first, but you know what? Once you figured it out, you'll already kind of know what your numbers are going to be. Maybe you're always learning, because you might have a food that they snuck in some ingredients in there, that they switched the name of the sugar, because if you look up sugar, there's like over 1,000 different words for it. And companies are smart; they'll do this to us, but we're smarter because we have our blood sugar monitor, right? So test, test, and test. Don't be a fool. Don't be a know-it-all. You're always learning something every day. I still am, believe it or not. Stay away from the carbonated water. That's right. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this short video about testing. It's very important. Hit the like button. Keep sending me your comments. And as always, all carbs turn to sugar. Bye for now. Have a great week.